Hi mga anak, kamusta na muli kayo? Let us recall our last topic, how to find the epicenter of an earthquake. 1. We have triangulation method, and another one is we have the distance time graph. Based in your topic in Araling Panlipunan, we have 7 major tectonic plates. Pacific Plate, North American Plate, South American Plate, African Plate, Eurasian Plate, Indo-Australian Plate, and Antarctic Plate. And according to the scientists, plates move few centimeter per year, 0.60 to 10 centimeter per year. As the plate moves, the majority of formation of earthquake, volcanic eruption, and mountain ranges are happening along the plate boundaries. It served as the basis on the marking of plate boundaries used by scientists. Describe each figure. How does each figure differ from one another? Do they have the same direction? Of course, no. When it comes to their direction, they are differ from one another. And that will be our topic, types of plate boundaries. What do the arrows in the map indicate? Are all plates moving in the same direction? The arrows on the map tells us the direction of movement of each plate. Each plate is slowly moving relative to each other, causing geologic events to happen along their boundaries. Since plates are moving relative to each other, therefore, there are different types of plate boundaries. What other geologic features and events could be formed by these types of plate boundaries? Now, let us have the different types of plate boundaries. Convergent plate boundary, divergent plate boundary, transform fault plate boundary, and they are differentiated on the type of movement they exhibit. Studying plate boundary is important because along these boundaries, the formation of the lithosphere is happening. These geologic events have a great impact not only on the environment but also on us. So let us take a look briefly about each type of plate boundary. Let us have first the convergent plate boundary. How will we describe the movements of the two plates? Yes, two plates move toward each other. The result is one of the slabs of the lithosphere subduct beneath an overriding plate. We have two different crusts, the continental crust and oceanic crust. Continental crust is thicker than the oceanic crust, but oceanic crust is more dense than continental crust. So what do you think what will happen if two different lithospheric plates collide? Yes, very good. Base sa nakikita nating araw sa oceanic crust, siya yung bumababa. Siya yung nagsasabdak. Kaya, ang convergent plate boundary, it is also called as destructive plate boundary. As the two plates collide, a collision zone is created and one of the leading plate will be subducted and destroyed. Alin yung nagsasubduct? Very good. Ang oceanic crust. Let us determine the consequence if two different plates collide. For example, oceanic crust collide to continental crust. It is clear that there is a formation of volcanic arc at the continental crust. Why there is volcanic arc? Since the oceanic crust is more dense than the continental crust, it subduct or bends towards the mantle. And that is also the reason why there is a formation of oceanic trench. How about oceanic crust converge to oceanic crust? Yes, there is formation of oceanic trench and volcanic island arc. So when we say volcanic island arc, it is a chain of volcano positioned in an arc as seen in the figure. When two continental plates converge, a collision zone is formed. But unlike with the two types of convergent plate boundary, subduction comes to an end. No volcano, no volcanic arc, no trench. Instead, what is formed here is, yes, a large group of tall mountains called as mountain range. Another type of plate boundary is divergent plate boundary. How will we describe the divergent plate boundary? Yes, crustal plates are moving apart, and it is also called as constructive plate boundary. Why do you think so? Since there is a zone of tension and form a gap, the molten materials emerge and solidify. That will form what kind of geologic features? Okay, volcanoes and mountains. Third type of plate boundary, we have transport fault plate boundary. Two plates slide past each other. It is also called as conservative margins because no plate margins are being destroyed or formed. Rather, it forms mostly the shaking of the ground known as earthquake. During earthquake, presume that plates along fault line move, and the occurrence of such earthquake can also affect far from the edges of tectonic plates. Let us now summarize our topic. We have different types of plate boundary. Convergent plate boundary, divergent plate boundary, and transform fault plate boundary. When we say convergent plate boundary, two plates are colliding, while in divergent plate boundary, two plates are moving apart. And in transform fault plate boundary, plates slide each other. And we have also different types of convergent plate boundary: oceanic to continental, oceanic to oceanic, and continental to continental. Study the world map and identify what type of plate boundaries exist between African plate and South American plate. Okay, very good. So we have divergent plate boundary. How about in North American plate and Pacific plate? Okay, so very good. So we have transform fault plate boundary. Hanggang dito na lang uli mga anak. Hanggang sa muli. Salamat!